What's going on YouTube? My name is Simon Sniped and welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel and the game in general, here's a quick intro to get you up to speed. Higan Eruthyll is a mobile gacha game like any other, but with its very own unique twist. Like any other new gacha game of the similar genre, it has adopted the basic game modes, functions and various quality of life features, which makes the gaming experience pretty good so far. If you want to see a more detailed review of the game, feel free to let me know in the comments section and we'll see it released on this channel. So the question of the day is, which hero banner to pull on? Since you read the title of the video and decided to click on it, I'm just gonna jump straight to the three banners. The Amethyst Protector Gyldan, Soul Thread's Eluya, the Fiery Feather Sirslet. To make sure that whatever I say applies to you, I'm gonna set some premises in advance. This video is made with the free-to-play and small spenders in mind. If you're able to go ham on packs, then there's no reason to not get them all. Regardless, I'm going to give all three a look and explain what they do in general and the roles they may play in a team should you wish to have a second opinion. And without further ado, let's get into it. The first banner we're going to take a look at is Gyldan, the Amethyst Protector. She's a default 3-star SSR Guardian, which is the equivalent of a tank of the Umbra element. As a tank, she has a very defensive stat distribution and skill kit that is designed to let her take hits. However, her most significant feature that makes her one of the best current tanks is her ability to interrupt on both the active and ultimate skill. At the time of the release of this video, she is the only Guardian that is able to interrupt enemy casts with both skills. Once you level her to 30, you unlock another special skill which allows her to taunt as well. Her skill kit also increases her armor, allowing her to self-mitigate upon skill cast, and her unique debuff Dark Mark is mildly useful, as it randomly applies a debuff on those who attack her with a low chance. One last thing about Gyldan is that she is also a very neutral and versatile tank because she is of the Umbra element, which is only weak against Lumino. The second banner we're going to talk about is Soul Thread's Eluya. Now she's a default 3-star SSR assassin of the Umbra element, a very straightforward and easy to understand hero. Her stats are very skewed towards being offensive, making her hit really hard but also isn't able to take much incoming punishment. Her skill kit dishes out physical damage to single target and a lot of it. If you're looking for a DPS to fill single target burst role in your team, this is the hero you don't want to miss out. The third and final banner we'll be looking at today is the Fiery Feather Sirslet. Now, she's a default 3-star SSR Hoplite, which is the equivalent of a melee class of the fire element. This one's a little tricky. Her stats are distributed very similarly to Eluya, which makes her a melee DPS. However, Eluya has more armor, while Sirslet has more magic resistance. On the other hand, Sirslet's kit gives her a bit more utility compared to Eluya, but in terms of raw damage, Eluya takes the cake. But Sirslet is able to deal AoE damage and has an interrupt on her ultimate skill, allowing her to fill half the shoe of an interrupter for the team. Moving on to the part where you most want to hear, here's my honest opinion on which banner to pull on. My personal pick goes to Gyldan, the Amethyst Protector, and the reason for that is very simple. As far as my experience progressing with the game for the past few days, DPS do their job pretty well, whereas the heals that most support can generate is a little bit lacking if your team is not up to the combat power requirement. Most of the time, you will not be able to kill all the enemies before you take a heavy beating. So in the situation where you are able to keep up or exceed the expected combat power, you probably do not even need a frontline tank, but that's not usually the case when we are still in the early to mid game. Having a frontline that not only have their stats designed to take hits, but also skills that can help mitigate, interrupt and reduce damage will make your progression much smoother. Now, there are definitely other frontline tank options out there, and if you do not have Gyldan, that's absolutely fine. The only thing you have to consider is that it will take a little bit more time to increase their combat power before they can actually tank the front, especially if you're up against the opposite element. Eluya and Sirslet are great additions to DPS. If you're simping, don't bother with my advice, but if you're asking which one has potentially the longer shelf life, I would say Eluya due to the fact that she's of the Umbra element and her kit has only one goal in mind: deal single target damage and deal a shit ton of it. No distractions, no confusion, no fluff. Now, if you're feeling like pulling for Sirslet, let me tell you it is not a wrong decision. You will not break your account or progression, but just have to bear in mind that you'll have to work around her weaknesses and redundancy if you have another unit that can interrupt as well. Overall, her skill kit and stats look interesting, but I can't give you a statistical proof because I am too poor myself to also go for more than one banner. And that concludes the video. If you find my input helpful, please do all the YouTube shenanigans like subscribing to the channel, liking the video and whatnot, because it will help me increase my chances of releasing more accurate content for the future. Until the next video, I'll see you guys again soon. It's good to be back. Bye.